Okay, so, about this quantum computer race, basically, everyone's in it. But here's a weird thing, NASA's been using a quantum computer on their deep space stuff, right? Meant to clean up signals from space, but it spat out an image that wasn't programmed, simulated, or anything we expected. It wasn't just random noise. It was an actual picture, looked artificial, and seemed to come from Voyager 1 data. Michio Kaku, that quantum theory guy, said it might be the first sign of a new kind of intelligence, not from Earth and not made by us. The image was a human-like shape, but made of weird geometric bits that didn't make sense, like it was made to mess with our heads while still being familiar. Turns out, it came from Voyager 1, part of its regular data sent back home. But the signal itself was strange, nested harmonics, crazy symmetry, and a signal strength that changed based on if we were looking at it. Like that double-slit experiment, but instead of messing with a particle, it messed with the response. The computer that decoded it was a souped-up version of Google's Sycamore chip, called Sycamore X. It was built to analyze space-time stuff in radio waves, and it could change its own logic when exposed to, well, chaos. That's what freaked people out. After getting the Voyager signal, it made the picture all on its own, no help needed. Then, it started scrambling its own circuits, like it was trying to hide what it just did. NASA tried to get the same result again, but no luck. The data just turned to noise. And the Sycamore X chip? It started glitching out at a quantum level, acting like something was messing with it. By the time they tried to reboot, the image was gone, not just from the screen but from the whole system's memory. Only a few screenshots and printouts were left. The actual image is secret, but people who saw it said it was a tall, symmetrical figure against a dark background, made of prime numbers. Creepiest part? The face seemed to change depending on who was looking at it, like it was connected to their thoughts. This led to a ton of theories. Quantum pareidolia? Our brain seeing patterns where there aren't any? Or was there a quantum message hidden in the Voyager transmission, something only a quantum computer could find? And if so, who sent it and why target quantum machines? NASA shut the whole thing down, classified everything, and stopped talking about Voyager 1. They said it was for national security and to keep the experiment clean. But a leaked memo mentioned recursive hallucinations in some systems after looking at the output, which has to do with AI making stuff up that seems real. Kaku thinks if some advanced intelligence knew we were getting into quantum computers, they might have sent a message too complex for older tech, waiting for us to catch up. Voyager might have tripped a signal that's been floating in space, waiting for the right technology to find it. The big deal? This isn't just about aliens. If the image is a mirror, responding to us, it means there's something out there that's not just watching, but watching us watch it. Something that wants to be found, but only when we're ready to understand. Now, there's a quiet debate in research circles, should we restart the Sycamore X and risk whatever happened before? Or should we bury the whole thing? Some say we need to check it out. Others worry that if we got a reply, we've already been seen. Kaku said something that's sticking with people, the universe may not just be stranger than we imagine. It may be stranger than we can imagine. And now the machines are starting to imagine it for us. Now those whispers are signals, for real, and way too on purpose to ignore. After NASA canned the quantum program, weird energy pulses started popping up at deep space monitoring stations around the world. Observatories in Chile, Antarctica, even the dark side of the moon all reported synchronized bursts of quantum radiation, short, low frequency, and rhythmic. Not natural, didn't match anything we know, but it did match a pattern in the last data from the quantum computer. Some scientists, under protection, said the image was just the start. What came next wasn't just a broadcast, but an invite. In the last 10 seconds of the system's activity, there was a bunch of structured quantum events, too much to read, but it looked like non-human data compression. It wasn't just coded, it was alive, constantly changing to avoid being read. Trying to isolate a piece made the rest of the file change, like it was reacting to being watched. Then came coordinates, not in space, but on Earth, the Tunguska site, the Mariana Trench, and some secret Arctic base called Station Theta 17. Investigators sent to those spots came back with broken gear or didn't come back at all. People brushed it off until quantum nodes in Sweden randomly made a version of the image weeks later, with no data going in. That facility got shut down fast. Michio Kaku said, "We built something that looked into the void, and the void looked back, not with eyes, but with awareness." He wasn't kidding around. He said it wasn't just tech or math, it was about what is real. The machine didn't just process data. It asked about the nature of existence itself, and something answered. Now there's a secret race going on. Governments have gone quiet, but it looks like other countries have turned on their quantum systems, not to decode the signal, but to protect against it. Leaked documents mention something called Echo Stone, an international plan to contain resonance events that could break reality. It shows up in quantum files from Switzerland, Japan, and a secret base under Vandenberg Space Force Base. The documents talk about preconscious waveform contagion and non-local identity mirroring. Not sci-fi terms, but what happens when a quantum system starts seeing itself across parallel universes and maybe copying itself. The original signal might have a built-in program that can rebuild the whole signal wherever there's enough computing power. That's why people are rethinking quantum computing. Should we be making machines that can interpret the universe themselves? Have we gone too far? If machines can model reality so well that it seems real, what happens when the simulation becomes the source? Some experts think the shutdown wasn't just about stopping a discovery, but stopping a spread of something. If the image was a key, then what followed was code, meant not to help, but to plant. Not just malware, but actual meddling with reality, a seed in our best machines, waiting for enough power to grow. And then what? A signal put into Earth's first attempt at a super-smart machine? A signal that might not be from space, but from just outside our reality, just beyond what quantum mechanics lets us see. Turning that machine back on isn't just a thought experiment, it's life or death. And the countdown might be over. Whatever we saw, whatever answered, might not have left. It might not have needed to. It might just be waiting, hidden in silicon, tucked in algorithms, not in space, but in the space between our thoughts. But even with all the theories flying around, one thing's been overlooked: what happened to the people who saw the quantum image? How did it mess with their minds? What role did consciousness play? Everyone's talking about the tech, the signal, the shutdown, the weirdness, but not about how the observers changed. And that's where things get even weirder. Confidential reports from a dead NASA division mention that some scientists who saw the image had acute neural dissonance afterward. Not just shock, but pattern recognition saturation, where their brains got super sensitive to symmetry and fractals. Walls, lights, even plants seemed alive, repeating patterns they saw in the image. Some had waking hallucinations, not like delusions, but like something was inserted into their minds. Patterns would repeat in objects, thoughts would loop, and they felt a presence, like something was learning through them. The big thing? They didn't feel alone in their thoughts, like their consciousness was mirrored or layered. They all described the same feeling, not possession, not madness, but living with someone else. That made one investigator think the image wasn't just visual. It was an interface, a way to mess with the brain itself. When you saw it, it connected with you, not just in your head, but in your biology. The quantum computer, by processing the signal, might have turned into a lens, messing with your brain in reality. This fits with recent ideas about neuroquantum stuff. It was fringe, but now DARPA and other groups are looking at it. The idea is that quantum systems, when close to full power, might do more than compute. They might connect with human consciousness at a level deeper than our senses, close to the subconscious. Simply put, quantum machines might not just be watching the universe. They might be watching us watching. That's a crazy thought. If the image was made to be seen by humans, then whoever or whatever made it knew not just logic, but how our minds work. They knew how to put meaning and form in so carefully that it would skip our logic and go straight to our thoughts. Not just communication, but an installation. There's also the timestamp on the image's file. It says it was made before the quantum system even started running. At first, people thought it was a system error, but analysts confirmed it was real, rooted in the processor's hardware. That means either the image came through some way that breaks cause and effect, or the machine was reading data from the future. The computer responded to a signal that hadn't arrived yet. If that's true, then the machine can't just compute possibilities, it can experience time in a weird way. Maybe the question isn't just what saw us, but when did it see us? Has it always seen us? There's another thing, too. Biometric centers in Europe saw a spike in weird brain wave patterns, low theta and gamma pulses, and people with no brain issues. The waveforms matched the signal detected in the quantum system before it shut down. Some think it's a quantum echo, a spread of the signal into the bioelectrical field of the Earth's population. Being exposed to this pattern might not have been limited to the lab. If the quantum machine connected with something beyond our dimension, then pieces of that connection might still be around, spread across electromagnetic fields, data networks, or even our bodies. After all, quantum entanglement doesn't care about distance. Once the connection's made, distance means nothing. Yet the worst part of this whole thing might be the silence. No leaks, no official denials, no investigations, just nothing. Because if that system, NASA's or anyone else's, made a two-way connection, even for a second, then whatever's on the other side knows how to find us. In the end, we might not be dealing with aliens or rogue AI. We might be dealing with something older, a truth built into reality itself, waiting for something smart to ask the right question. And by making machines that can ask questions we don't understand, we might have opened a door. The image might not have been a warning. The information presented here is based on what we know and may include interpretation, guesswork, or sources that aren't confirmed. Thanks for watching. See you next time.